Hi, my name is Steve Babitsky. I'm the president of SEAK, and I'm here today with attorney James Mangraviti from SEAK. We're going to be talking about a curriculum vitae for expert witnesses. So Jim, why is it important for expert witnesses to have a curriculum vitae or CV?
Yeah, that's a very simple reason. You're not going to get hired without one. Any lawyer that's looking to hire you as an expert witness is going to want to review your CV before they hire you, so you really need to have one.
And is it crucial for experts to have a well-written CV?
It is absolutely imperative that expert witnesses have a well-written CV for two main reasons. Number one, as I mentioned before, the CV is a document that's going to determine in part, maybe in large part, whether or not you actually get hired in the case. And if you've got a CV that looks like crap, I'm sorry, it looks terrible, the lawyer is not going to hire you. So that's number one. Number two, a CV is ammunition. What do I mean by that? Everything written in that CV can and will be used against you by opposing counsel to rip your throat out on cross-examination and at deposition. So you really have to have a well-written CV, one, to get the case, and two, so that the lawyer on the other side, you're not giving that person ammunition to rip your head off.
So what are the special dynamics in writing a well-crafted CV?
Well, I think it really feeds into what I was just talking about. On the one hand, you want your CV to be accurate and you want to make yourself look good. But on the other hand, any exaggerations, any mistakes, any puffery, any stuff like that can be absolutely devastating on cross-examination. So whereas, in a resume, you're going in for a job interview, you may be probed, and you may be probed somewhat hardly by the person interviewing you, and a little bit of puffery may be expected. In an expert witness situation, any type of exaggeration, any type of inaccuracy, any type of mistake, and the lawyer will eat your lunch. Okay, you are going to be all done. And we see mistakes like that, Steve, right, over and over and over again in the experts that we work with. And they're avoidable, and that's really the key.
So what actually should be on an expert's CV?
One of the things that we see a lot of experts fail to do is put on their full contact information. We recommend both the cell phone and the email. Why? Because experts need to be accessible. If you're not accessible to the lawyer, you're not useful. Okay. The second thing I like to see on an expert witness CV is a headshot. Okay. Get a professional headshot, go to a photographer, because looks do matter in this. The lawyer that's going to hire you wants to know what you look like. So you want to spend the time, no selfies, no nonsense like that. Get a professional headshot. We've seen experts with their CVs, not making this up, guy who's holding up a fish, right? I mean, crazy stuff that we've seen. You don't want to do that. You want to definitely have your work experience on there. You don't want to talk about how much money you made, but you want to talk about what you did so that people can infer or understand what you know, what your areas of expertise are. You want to talk about your education, certainly. Absolutely. You want to have your publications, you want to have your presentations, you want to have your awards. Maybe some other stuff, depending upon if you invented something, some patents, but that's pretty much it.
So what common mistakes do we see, Jim, all the time in expert CVs?
Probably the most common mistake are typographical errors. I could run out the film in this camera if I were to discuss with you here today all the mistakes that we've seen in CVs and with the typographical errors and whatnot. And again, what's heartbreaking about those and what drives me nuts is that they're avoidable. So you really got to check your CV over to make sure that there's no typos and mistakes. We see poor formatting all the time. Again, 100% avoidable. You want to avoid that. We see subjective characterizations. So what the expert will say is, I'm the world's leading expert on. Okay? And once we see that in the CV, Steve, we've done this so many times with experts, it's really easy to pick them apart because it's a subjective characterization, world's leading. Who says this? I mean, who said that? Nobody. They made it up themselves. Okay? You want to be careful with that. And then the final thing that we see, which is related to that, is we see exaggerations. The best CVs, the CVs that are most resistant to cross-examinations, are the ones that are objective, not subjective, and that do not have exaggerations. One common example of an exaggeration is mischaracterizing, for example, a publication that an expert has, listing themselves as a sole author where they were in fact only a co-author. One of the most egregious examples of that I could give you, we had a guy, you were with me, we were training, he wrote down publications, he had his name and he had this book. And I remember this like it was yesterday. We bought the book because we're anal, and we determined that not only did he not write the book, not only was he not contributing to the book, he was mentioned in the book. But he put under publications the name of this book that he was just mentioned in. And we absolutely destroyed this person's credibility, 100% avoidable.
So can you give me an example, Jim, of how a cross-examiner will hone in on these kind of mistakes on a CV?
Sure. Would you mind being a guinea pig?
Happy to, Jim.
Mr. Babitsky, is that right?
Yes.
You're here to tell the truth, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Is it important that expert witnesses always tell the truth?
Yes.
Always tell the whole truth, isn't that right?
Yes.
And an expert witness who didn't tell the truth wouldn't be believable. Would you agree with that?
I would.
And that would be a very bad thing if an expert witness didn't tell the truth, isn't that right?
Yes.
Now, would you agree with me, sir, that an exaggeration is a form of not telling the truth?
Well, it could be a form of not telling the truth, yes.
Certainly, it's not the whole truth, right?
No, it isn't.
All right. Now, this is a copy of your curriculum vitae, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, on page 1 of your CV, you indicate that you've lectured throughout the United States. Those are the words that you used, correct?
Yes.
All right. And have you, in fact, lectured throughout the United States?
Yes.
All right. Isn't it a fact, sir? And the lectures that you've given are listed on page 4 of your CV. Is that a complete list?
Yes, it is.
Now, isn't it a fact, sir, that you've never lectured in the state of Maine?
Maine is a small state. No, I have not lectured in Maine.
You've never lectured in Vermont, have you?
Another small state. No, I have not.
Let's try a bigger state. How about Texas? You never lectured in Texas, have you?
Texas, no.
California, that's another not so small state. You never lectured there, did you, sir?
It's a long flight. No, I have not.
Oregon, never lectured there?
Another long flight. No.
Arizona, never lectured there?
It's pretty warm there. No, I have not.
Wisconsin, never lectured there?
No.
Illinois, never lectured there?
Not to my recollection.
Florida, never lectured there?
No.
Just to speed this up, is it fair to say, sir, that the only states you've ever lectured in are the 5 that are listed here on your CV on page 4?
That's true.
So when you stated in your CV that you listed that you have lectured throughout the United States, that was an exaggeration, wasn't it?
Probably.
And as we just established, an exaggeration is a form of dishonesty, isn't it right, sir?
It's not ideal.
And an exaggeration does not involve telling the whole truth, isn't that right, sir?
That's true.
And by what we've established just a few minutes ago, an expert witness who exaggerates shouldn't be believed, isn't that right?
It's not
So
good.
therefore the jury shouldn't believe you, isn't that right, Mr. Babitsky?
It's not good.
Thank you very much. Again, a very, very simple example, but this is what you're going to get, and Steve's playing along well with me. This is the type of thing that you're going to get if you put something inartful in your CV, and you really want to avoid it. You want to check over that CV. You want to make sure you're putting nothing in there that's going to give avoidable ammunition to the other side to rip your head off.
Jim, how does SEAK assist expert witnesses?
SEAK is the expert witness training company, and we're here to help experts. If you go to our website, testifyandtraining.com, you can click on free resources. There's a number of things available for download there. We have a number of books that we've published. We put on training seminars 3-4 times a year in various parts of the country. We have a directory for expert witnesses. We have over 1,400 experts listed in the directory so that they can place themselves in the directory and they can get cases. That's also on seekexperts.com. And then you and myself, Nadine Donovan, we work one-on-one with expert witnesses to help them grow and expand their practices, be better, be more effective, help them with their reports, help them with their depositions. So if you're an expert witness and you're looking to get better, you're looking to get more business, we're here to help.